Hello, my name's Gemma from Solar Events, and I'm here interviewing Art Geyser on the upcoming Chakra Spa weekend that's coming up in April. So at Solar Events, we work with some of the leading people in personal and spiritual work. And we've actually worked with Art for many, many years, and he's internationally known as a teacher, healer, and trainer. And he is the creator of this wonderful field of energetic NLP. So for those that don't know what energetic NLP actually is, that's going to be my first question. So Art, would you mind telling us what is
Sure. Well,
energetic
first,
NLP?
hi everyone. Thank you so much for watching this, and thank you, Gemma, for interviewing me.
Oh,
Energetic NLP is a unique blend of several different areas: spiritual principles, uh, intuition development, healing, and NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming. NLP is a very logical, very powerful transformation system that's been around since the mid-70s. And I combine elements of NLP with energetic healing and spiritual principles and intuition development to create something that I think takes the best of all those fields and puts them together.
oh, fantastic. And what is an energetic NLP chakra spa?
Yes, when we decided to do this weekend, as you know, on chakras, and there's a lot of really nice workshops out there on chakras, and I wanted to do something that was really, really different. That both people who were brand new to the idea of chakras or people that have been working with chakras for 30 years, that all of them would really benefit. And the idea of this came from, I do, of course you know this, Tim, I do a lot of 4-day programs that are really training programs. And then we do these different weekend programs on different topics. In 8, 9 different times, people have come up to me and said, you know, I love the 4-day training programs. The weekend, the 2-day workshops, it's like going to an energy spa. I just get to relax, and I come out of it, and my life is better.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we think about this weekend, I thought, well, let's make it a chakra spa weekend. And people will learn things, of course. But the emphasis isn't going to be on the cognitive part or learning or going, chakras have this many layers or spin this way or this color. And all of that's wonderful material. And what I want people to do is just relax. And we're going to do a number of really powerful energy meditations that are going to clear, heal, open, enhance each of the energy centers. And they're not going to have to think hard. They're just going to get relaxed with their own inner wisdom and spirit in charge. And just let things flow. And at the end of the 2 days, really have made a very big difference in their lives. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's very different than any chakra workshop I've ever heard of.
Oh, okay. Brilliant. And for some people, they actually won't know what a chakra is. Can you tell me what a chakra is?
I'd be happy to. And you know, there's different ways to think about them or explain them. Most people who've heard of chakras at all have heard of the 7 main chakras, and we're going to be working with at least 12 of them. And they locate them in different parts of the body. And you know, like one's on top of your head, one's in your head, one's in your throat, your heart, your solar plexus, below your navel, base of your spine, and then other parts of your body and around your body. But what are they? They're energy structures in the body. And one way to think of it is they're analogous a bit to organs in the body. So we have hearts, we have lungs, we have stomachs, we have all these different organs in our body, and they all do different things. But I was a medical researcher for 11 years. I managed a research lab for the University of California Medical School in San Francisco. And one of the things that was back years ago when I was doing this that was really coming out was thinking about the body more holistically. So science was great at like taking your heart and really zeroing in on it, or zeroing in on a brain or nerve cell. But often what they would forget was your brain doesn't exist by yourself. Your heart doesn't exist by yourself. Everything in your body is affecting everything else. There's a lot of research coming out recently that what's going on in your digestive system has a lot to do with your cognitive functions. And people are exploring even changes in diet that might prevent dementia and Alzheimer's. But what's clear is what's going on in your stomach affects your brain. What's going on in your stomach affects your heart. What's going on in one part of your body affects the other. So it's very much the same. There's people have known for thousands of years that there's an energy system in and around the body. The ancient Chinese knew about it. In India, they knew about it. There are words in Hebrew for the body's energy system and the life force. People have known forever that there was a life force in and around the body. And that life force is just a part of this whole energy system. And the chakras are different energy formations within the body that have different basic functions. Though like organs in the body, they're all affecting one another. And sometimes people get, I think, too focused in on each chakra as an individual thing. So one thing we're going to be doing is looking at them very holistically. How are they affecting one another? So, for instance, is a big chakra in the solar plexus area, which if you don't know where the solar plexus is, it's right below your sternum where the rib cage begins to divide. And that chakra does a lot of things, and it happens to affect your digestion a lot. It also has to do with your personal power. Can you be powerful in the world? How well can you distribute your energy in your body and around your body? There's another important energy center at the base of your spine that has a lot to do with how you connect with the energy fields around you, the physical reality. Do you struggle with life or do you dance with life? Can you work with the waves of energy that are around you, or are you constantly in resistance and struggling to life? And there's a lot more that we'll talk about. But so chakras, another way to think of chakras is there's energy channels in the body. And chakras are places where a lot of energy channels come together, forming these different formations. So the main thing, and I often call them energy centers, because I think it's a more 21st century Western way to think of it. And there's centers of energy in your body that have functions and that massively affect your body.
Oh, great. Okay. Sorry, I got distracted.
It's okay.
So I'm just going to pause that and then. So, who would you say this workshop is for, and what actually is going to happen during the workshop?
Well, honestly, I would say this workshop's for anybody who's open to finding out. Let me say that differently. Anybody who's open to really having their whole energy system enhanced. And typically in my workshops, there's people that are newbies, beginners, know little or nothing about it. And I'm always really gratified. I often have people who've been doing energy work for 20, 30 years. Sometimes they're Reiki masters and other kind of energy work. And they get a lot out of it too. So I would say it's for anybody who wants to spend a fun weekend enhancing their energy system in a way that's going to enhance their lives in many, many different ways.
Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. And let's say I was considering coming to this workshop. How can working with chakras benefit me?
Boy, that's really a tough question, because your chakras affect literally every area of your life. Mm-hmm. So there's chakras in your energy field beneath your feet, and they have to do with how you're connected to the Earth's energy and plants and animals and the whole natural world. There's chakras in your feet that have to do with how you, again, connect with the Earth energy. There's a very powerful chakra, often called the root or first chakra, that's at the base of the spine that massively affects, as I mentioned before, how you work with the world. Does the world support you or not? And what happens is people are familiar with the idea of unconscious programming. Ever since Freud, we all know that there's things going on that we're not consciously aware of that massively affect our lives. But we're also programmed energetically. And if that sounds odd to somebody, energy contains information. The way Gemma and I are speaking right now, we're speaking over the internet. And all this communication is happening energetically. People who are watching this later, information is being stored in energy and then being released in energy in a way that we can pick up with our eyes and our ears. So energy in its natural state almost always has information. And human energy always has information programming in it. when you were in your mother's womb, you were already being programmed by your parents. They didn't know they were doing this, but parents are deeply programmed to program their children, which is a good thing because we're all born into a particular society, and we need to know the rules, what to do. I mean, even things as simple as don't run out in front of a car, look before you walk out in the street. What you can say, what you can do, what you can think, what you can be. We're all programmed. And this programming isn't just from your parents. They were programmed by their parents. They were programmed by their parents. So we have generations of programming that end up in us. And that programming goes into the various chakras and limits them. Because very often that programming is telling us things like, don't be powerful, don't follow your own intuition. Because authority figures are always programming us, like, do what we tell you. And again, that's the nature of human society. I'm not trying to make that a bad thing. It's just the way things are. But for people who are interested in energetic NLP, the kind of people who need to be watching this video, we want to get in touch with our inner wisdom and our spirit. We want to feel guided in our lives. We want to be authentic. We don't want to be operating out of programming that worked for our great-great-great-grandparents. We want to be who we are. Right. So as we clear the programming out of each chakra, we'll also be working on enhancing, opening up the functions of those chakras and how they work together. So that includes things like, do you struggle with life or does life support you? And I'm not saying I never struggle, and I have challenges in life just like everybody else, but I feel so massively supported by life. Yet I feel very taken care of. If there's a big challenge in my life, help shows up. Things just sort of happen. And again, I'm not saying that things always go my way or everything's always perfect. But when I'm challenged, support is always there. When there's opportunity, support is always there. And that has a lot to do with your whole energy system, but your first energy center. There's an energy center around and below your navel that has a lot to do with your emotional life and your creativity and your sexuality and your sensuality. And there's tons of programming in us that restricts our sexuality, restricts our sensuality, restricts us from being creative. Everybody is massively creative, but these restrictions go in. And again, they weren't intended to hurt us, but societies try to restrict people so we'll be good little boys and girls and do what we're supposed to do. And again, I'm not making that bad or wrong, but again, anybody who's listening to this is somebody who doesn't want to do that anymore. That third energy center in your solar plexus has to do with your personal power. Can you be powerful in your own life? Can you be powerful in the world? Can you distribute energy well in your body for health and vitality? And many, many other things. The heart energy center, not surprisingly, has to do with our ability to love, our ability to be loved, to be open to love, to receive. Your heart has a lot to do with how we connect with higher energies and our soul and a great deal of things. So as we work on our heart, we open up to all kinds of wonderful things. The throat energy center has a lot to do, again, with communication and identity. And can we be authentic? And when I say being authentic, I don't mean just in what we say to other people. The bigger problem for most people is we're not internally authentic. We have thoughts and feelings and then we judge them. I shouldn't feel that way. I shouldn't this. I shouldn't think that. And as you open up to an internal authenticity, it doesn't mean you necessarily have to say it or think it or even believe it's true. But when we stop suppressing ourselves and recognize authentic feelings and thoughts and emotions, everything in our life blossoms. We're no longer cutting off the flow of energy. We're letting it flow, and we're able to make choices around it and direct it. And we're also able to be more authentic with other people, more powerful with other people. Because as the third and the heart and the throat are all opening, how you interact with people changes. And that includes how you're able to listen to them and have compassion for them. So it's not all about what you say. It's also about what you hear and how you listen. There's other powerful energy centers I'll talk about more in the program. There's one, the navel energy center, that's at the level of the navel in your body. There's another one at that level in your spine called the Yin Yang. There's a lot of energy centers. Every organ has energy centers. And we're not, and in fact, there are thousands of energy centers in the body. Every acupuncture point's an energy center. And obviously, we're not going to work with thousands of them in the weekend, but we're going to be working with the 7 main ones, plus probably at least 5 or 6 others. So the one in your head has a lot to do with, a lot of times there's restrictions by this programming on what we think and how we can think. And a lot of times people go, oh, I'm just not good at it. Like I think about math and my head gets fuzzy. Or, when I think about finance, all of a sudden my head gets fuzzy. And a lot of that is programming. And as you clear that programming out of your head, this whole energy center that's inside your head and around your head and in the forehead and in the third eye and other energy centers that are all interconnected, your intuition opens up. You're able to think more clearly. You have more confidence. You make better decisions. Then on top of the head is what's called the crown energy center. And that's one of the places where we really connect to our spirit. And as you clear, open, and enhance and make your crown energy center more powerful, you feel more guided by your spirit. And it just affects everything in your life. There's energy centers even higher up in your energy field above your head that have to do with how you connect in with your multidimensional self. Different levels, again, of restrictions are put on us up there. As we clear those, again, we come more into letting yourself be a powerful, beautiful spiritual being. So, honestly, working with the chakras, they affect your relationships, they affect your health, they affect your spirituality, they affect your level of success in life, they affect how much you just enjoy life, how much you feel spiritual joy, they affect your thinking, your emotions. I mean, you can't, if you're listening to this, any area of your life that's important to you, your chakras are either limiting it or enhancing it. And we're going to be clearing the limits and opening all these wonderful enhancements. Wow. So I know that was a lot.
That explains it. It sounds absolutely amazing. But so many, there are quite a few different chakra workshops out there. So I'm wondering, how is this one going to be any different from those out there?
Yeah, and I want to preface this by saying there are a lot of wonderful chakra workshops out there. So when I talk about how this one is different, I'm not criticizing any of them. But in energetic NLP, we take a different kind of approach. And I'm trying to think of a short way to say this. Most chakra workshops are very prescriptive. They're very like, your chakra looks exactly like this, and it spins exactly this way, and it has this many layers, and it's supposed to be this color. And people do wonderful work with that. So again, I'm not criticizing that. But I do find that very limiting. When I look at people's energy systems, I see something much more complex and beautiful and dynamic and multidimensional and astounding than the simple models. And the simple models that people teach, you get a lot out of them. Again, I salute them and I benefited from them myself. In this workshop, we're trying to get out of our head and thinking about it and trying to go, oh, I know exactly what it looks like. Because when we do that, we limit the possibilities and the power of our chakras. What we're going to be doing is not analyzing them to death, but just allowing your own inner wisdom, your spirit, to guide the energies that I'm going to bring in to work with enhancing your chakras and all their complexity and glory and all their interconnectedness. So the reason we call it Chakra Spa is you're not going to have to think hard. I mean, we will discuss some ideas, and I say I was a medical researcher for 11 years. I like thinking hard, but I also like sometimes like going to a spa and just going, okay, make my body better, and don't ask me too many questions. You can ask me like, does that feel good? Yeah, okay, fine, we're done. It's the intention here is that people work so hard and they think so hard that they get to kick back, relax. They do have to set intention. and they do have to give permission. And something we haven't mentioned yet, there's a term we use in energetic NLP. It's called your miraculous self. Your miraculous self. And that's a term we use for when your spirit and your inner wisdom are working in harmony. Your spirit has this huge, vast perspective on things, and your inner wisdom has a very human, day-to-day, minute-to-minute perspective. So when your spirit is working with your inner wisdom, because your spirit, a lot of things are fine, because it's looking at the big picture, like, well, yeah, I know you're suffering. Your spirit cares that you're suffering, but oh boy, you're growing, and you're doing all these good things. Where your inner wisdom is more likely to go, can we do this in a more fun way? Or, is there another way to do this? And your spirit's likely to go, oh yeah, okay, maybe we can do it this way. So when you bring them together, it's both very human and very vast and spiritual. So what people will learn in the beginning of the workshop is how to put their miraculous self, and we call it your M for short, how to put your M in charge. And then one of the things I've been learning to do since the early 80s is how to bring in really, really powerful healing energies for people and transformative energies. But when I do that, the energies are not going to do what I think somebody needs. They're going to do what that person's inner wisdom and spirit does. It's what it wants. So, again, it's like it's letting go of conscious control, but it's also, I'm not in control either. My job is to bring the energies in. At the beginning of the workshop, you'll learn how to put your inner wisdom and spirit in charge. So everything that's done will be what your inner wisdom and what your spirit want, which will always be better than what you think you need or what I think you need. It'll be much more powerful, much more life-changing. So those are ways in which I think it'll be very different than most or all chakra workshops. And the other thing, is people will learn 3 or 4 simple, powerful processes that after the workshop they can do to keep enhancing what we've done. Because we've all been to workshops and had great experiences, but then over time the positive effects degrade. So people are going to learn things they can do to keep it going and keep enhancing, keep opening the power, the amazing, miraculous power of their chakras.
Wow, you just answered that question for me, Art. Thank you. So if there is anybody out there who's still, after all this, unsure whether to come or not, what else can you tell them to help them make up their mind?
Well, 2 things. One is there's a couple of things that tend to come up when people think about going to a workshop. One is resistance. And a lot of that's unconscious programming. Some of that's energetic programming. As I mentioned earlier, we've been programmed for centuries not to think for ourselves, not to follow our intuition, not to follow our spirit. And again, it's because every society is authority-based. And energetically, people are going, do what we tell you, think what we tell you. Don't think what we tell you not to think about. So one of the ways you know a workshop's going to be really powerful for you is often things will come up that different kinds of resistance that will go, well, what about this, what about that, or I don't have time, or I don't have money. And those can be real. But often they're resistance, or just this kind of vague feelings like, well, I don't know, blah, 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 or I'm too tired, or it'll be too hard, or all these different things can come up. What I ask people to do is kind of not ignore those, but go, okay, fine. Maybe those are accurate, maybe they're not. But just to be quiet themselves and ask their own inner wisdom and spirit, would this be good for me? Does this resonate with me? And allow that answer to come up. And just is a part of you going, oh yeah, I should do that. And again, resistance will be bouncing around. But what does your authentic inner wisdom and spirit go? Does your wisdom and spirit telling you, yeah, this would be good for you? And that may sound hard to people, but it's really a matter of just getting quiet. And when you think about, okay, should I go to this? And notice different chatter will come up. or maybe I won't do well, all these different things. But then just kind of go, what's authentically coming up from your heart? So we tell people that.
Yeah.
I would also assure people, if at the end of the first day somebody goes, it wasn't for me, just tell us, and we'll, with a smile, refund their money. You know, again, you have to actually show up. But if at the end of the first day they're going, yeah, this is not for me, which has almost never happened to us. But if somebody feels that way, fine. So there's no risk in being there. If you do have to sit through the whole first day, but at the end of the first day, if you're going, this is a mistake, then fine. So the risk is taken out of it for people, so I want people to know that. The other thing I'd like them to know is I believe in having fun. So we'll be doing a lot of stuff and getting a lot done, but we'll be being playful. And part of energetic NLP is we believe that the more playful you are, the more joyful you are, the stronger the energy is. So people tell me it's a fun, the weekends are really fun, like going to a spa. They're also, I would say 100% of the time, at the end of the second day, people are going, I can't believe 2 days. But sometimes people go, oh, that's a lot of time. I'll be really, really shocked. I've never had anybody go after the program, even the 4-day program. Universally, people go, I can't believe it's over already. So it'll be fun. It'll be fast. It's also, the people who come to my workshops are fantastic people, and people meet great people. And so I think that's a big plus too. You'll be around wonderful people. And a lot of interesting friendships and few romances have come out of workshops, but a lot of friendships. And anything else? I don't know, anything else you can think of that people should know?
No, it's just a lot of fun, and you have an incredible sense of humor. That's what I would say.
Yeah, modesty forbids me from saying that, but thank you. Yes.
Yeah, so many teachers I've seen have been very, this is the way it is, my way is it. And you are totally not like that. You're totally, this is my belief du jour, and I love that. And you let people really explore what you say, and you don't ever say, this is how it is, this is the truth. And that I love. And I also love the fact you're so humble, and you're so, in my mind, incredible in creating this energetic NLP field yourself. And you're just the most arrogant person I've ever met, and so humble and so funny. So that's what I really think is so special about you.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I just want to add, I really, as Gemma was saying, you don't have to believe what I believe. I just ask people to explore things. I've had everything from, again, like people for years in different spiritual systems. I've had people that were devout Christians, devout Muslims, atheists. It's like we make room for everybody, and everybody brings their own specialness to it. Again, one of the big goals is opening up more to your own inner wisdom and spirit. So I'm really happy at the end of the 2 days if you see things differently than me, as long as it really opened you up and you had a fantastic life-changing experience. That's great, and I might end up adopting your ideas. I'm not attached to my beliefs as being some kind of ultimate truth. I want everybody to find their truth and their joy and their wisdom.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you so much, Art, for the time you've given for this interview. It's been really, really interesting for me. I've done all your courses, and I found this really fascinating, and I'm really looking forward to this Chakra Spa workshop. So thank you.
Well, thank you, and I love working with you and Solar Events. We always have a great team of people supporting me there. We have great people who come as assistants and can help out if somebody's having particular things that they need help on. Mm-hmm. And so, if this resonates with you, I hope you'll join us. I think it's going to be a fun, life-changing weekend. And like I say, if it resonates with you, come.
Exactly. Thank you.
Thanks for watching.